Hello, welcome back to the third part of our Chapter 5 review. And now we're going to be adding and subtracting rational expressions. So these are problems page 485, problems 23 through 30. So the first few are just going back to adding fractions in general with no variables. So we have to get a common denominator. And it looks like for the sake of this class, it doesn't have to be the least common denominator. So I could just multiply by each other. So I can multiply this one times a 20 over 20 and multiply this one by a 14 over 14. So 20 and 14, 20 times 14 is my common denominator. So then I have 20 times 3, which is 60, plus 9 times 14, which is 126. So 126 plus 60 is 186 all over 20 times 14, which is 280. And so we can reduce that, 186 divided by 280. And it's a decimal, so if we do alpha and take it to a fraction form, oh, and it reduces to 93 over 140. Remember, in decimals, we'll do that for you. There's only a couple of these, and then we go to variable ones anyway. So on 24, the 2, 24, and 6 can all be a multiple of 24. So the 2 needs to multiply by a 12 over 12 to get to 24. The second fraction has a 24 as its denominator. And the third fraction needs to multiply by a 4 over 4 to get to 24. So the first fraction becomes 12 over 24, subtracting 7 over 24, plus 5 times 4, or 20 over 24. And then remember, our denominator stays the same, but we can combine 12 subtracting 7 plus 20, and we get 25 24s. And for the purposes of this class, you can leave it as that. Okay. So the rest of the problems, 25 through 30, are all about getting a common denominator with these rational expressions. And we can see the first 25 has a common denominator, so we can go ahead and subtract 8 minus y over the common denominator. Remember, the denominator doesn't change, it stays the same. And these are similar except for the -1. So if we pull out a -1, the numerator becomes a y minus 8 over y minus 8. The y minus 8s cancel, and we're left with just a -1. Number 26 also already has a common denominator, so we can go ahead and subtract our expressions in the numerator. So the second fraction, this is a subtracting of the x minus 6. So we have to distribute the subtraction to both terms on the inside. So this becomes 2x minus 4, subtracting x plus a 6 all over x plus 2. And then we can combine like terms. 2x minus x is x, minus 4 plus 6 is a plus 2 over x plus 2, and that simplifies to a 1. So far, those are going very well. Okay, so let's look at 27. 27, it looks like we also have a common denominator of a squared minus 81. So we can add our numerators. A plus 7 plus 2 is 9 over a squared minus 81. And a squared minus 81 is a difference of squares. So a minus 9 and a plus 9. The a plus 9s cancel, and we're left with 1 over a minus 9. Okay, now 28, we need to get a common denominator. And we would factor first, but neither of them can be factored. So my LCD is going to just be x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. So the first fraction is missing the 2x minus 1. So I'm going to multiply by the 2x minus 1 over 2x minus 1. The second fraction is missing the x minus 1. And I'm putting them in parentheses because we're going to have to distribute over here on the left. We're going to have to distribute this 3. So that becomes 6x minus 3. And then on the right, we have to distribute the 6. So that becomes plus 6x minus 6. And then I'm going to leave my common denominator in factored form. So it's just x minus 1 times 2x minus 1 for now. Combining my numerator, I have 6x plus 6x. So we have 12x minus 3 minus 6 is a minus 9. And that a 3 can factor out. And then we have 4x minus 3 over my denominator x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. So that factoring didn't really help us at all, but I gave us some practice. Okay, 29. So we can factor these to see if they have anything in common. So this is going to factor into x, and then a plus 3 and a minus 1, so that we get a 2 in the middle. And then on the right hand side, we have a difference of squares. So that's going to be the conjugates, x minus 1, x plus 1. So my LCD, I'm just going to write it up here on the top right, is going to be x plus 3, x minus 1. They share an x minus 1, so we only need to include it once, and then an x plus 1. Okay. So the first fraction is missing just an x plus 1. So I'm going to multiply times x plus 1. I need to get in times x plus 1 over the x plus 1. And then the second fraction is missing the x plus 3. So x plus 3 over the x plus 3. So we're going to have to just do some distributing here. So that's going to be 4x squared plus 4x. And then over on the right, we have to remember we have to distribute that negative as well as the 2x to the x and the x plus 3. So it's going to be a minus 2x squared minus 6x all over my denominator. And I'm just going to leave my denominator in factored form. So x plus 3x minus 1 and x plus 1. So we've got 4x squared minus 2x squared is a 2x squared, and then plus 4x minus 6x is a minus 2x. And that we can factor 2x out, and we have an x minus 1 left. So as far as canceling, we've got an x minus 1 in top and then an x minus 1 in the denominator. So I think my final simplification is 2x over x plus 3x plus 1. Common denominators. So number 30, and then we're going to jump down and do 30. We've got a few more to get some common denominator. So number 30, we need to get factor to get a common denominator. So we've got difference of squares. And then x plus 3, x plus 1 multiplies to be 3, adds to make 1. So I'm going to just underline my LCD just so you can see x minus 1 used once, x plus 1 used once, and x plus 3 to save space. So this first fraction is missing the x plus 3. So we're going to multiply it by x plus 3 over x plus 3. And that's going to be 2 binomials multiplied. And on the right, we're missing only the x minus 1. So this is going to be x minus 1. Okay. So I'm going to multiply my binomials on the left here. So that's going to be 2x squared plus 6x minus x minus 3. And I'll simplify that. That's going to be 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Okay. Subtracting, make sure I subtract this later. Let's multiply these binomials. So we have x squared. So x squared plus 4x minus x minus 4. So that makes x squared plus 3x minus 4. And then when we distribute the negative, let's just not worry about our denominator right now, but this is going to be 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Distributing the negative, we'll have a minus x squared minus 3x plus 4. So we have 2x squared minus x squared is just an x squared. Okay. That's not after we combine their like terms. Then we have a plus 5x and minus 3x is a plus 2x. And then we have a minus 3 and a plus 4, so a plus 1. Plus 1. So we really have x plus 1 over times x plus 1. That factors into that. Over our denominator, finally, x plus 1, x minus 1 times x plus 3. So the x plus 1's cancel, and we have x plus 1 over x minus 1, x plus 3. Okay. So problems 33 through 38 are more adding and subtracting. 33 through 36 actually. It's a little bit bigger problems. Let's go ahead and factor our denominators here. So we've got a plus 5a plus 2 and a plus 2a plus 4. I'm going to underline the common factors. A plus 2 needs to be counted once. So this fraction is missing the a plus 4. And then this fraction is missing the a plus 5. So let's go ahead and multiply that. We get 3a squared plus 12a. And we're going to distribute this negative 2a to the inside here. So we have minus 2a squared minus 10a all over my denominator of a plus 2, a plus 5, and a plus 4. So combining our like terms, we have 3a squared minus 2a squared is just an a squared and then plus 2a. So we can factor out an a, so we have a times a plus 2 all over our denominator here. So it looks like the a plus 2 cancels. So that reduces to a over a plus 5, a plus 4. So we're going to go to number 33. Okay, so 34. We have to factor our denominators to see what they have in common. So this is going to be a 2x and x. We have to add to make 5. So 3 times 2 would be 6. So it has to be the 3 here and a 1. So it's 2 plus 3 is the 5. And then this one is going to be a 2x and x. And 3 and a 2 here will be 3 and 4 would be 7. Okay. So it looks like they have 2x plus 3 in common, and then x plus 1 and x plus 2. So the first fraction here is missing the x plus 2. So those will get multiplied. So let's do that. So that's 5x squared plus 10x plus 3x plus 6. And then the second fraction is missing the x plus 1. So I'm going to multiply these and then I'll just subtract here in just a minute. So we'll have 3x squared plus 9x plus 3x plus 9. So we'll worry about our denominator in a minute. Let's just get our like terms. So we have 5x squared. So 5x squared plus 13x plus 6. And then distributing the negatives, so negative 3x squared minus 12x minus 9. So now combining like terms, we've got 2x squared plus an x minus a 3. And then if we want to be able to cancel with any of the common denominator factors, we have to factor this numerator. So that's going to factor into 2x and x and so a plus 3, 2x plus 3 and x minus 1. So it should be 2x plus 3 times x minus 1 over 2x plus 3 times x plus 1 times x plus 2. So the 2x plus 3's cancel, and we end up with x minus 1 in the numerator times x plus 1 times x plus 2 in the denominator. So 35, this fraction is factored. This can have a 3 factored out, x plus 3, and this can have an x factored out and an x plus 3. So I'm going to circle all of the factors of our LCD. So that's going to be used. It's already used here, and then a 3 and an x. So our LCD is x times 3 times x plus 3. So this first fraction is missing a 3x. So 3x, 3x. The second fraction is just missing an x, and the third fraction is just missing a 3. So we have 3 3x times x, or 3x squared, plus 7x in the middle minus 6 all over our 3 times x plus 3. Then we can factor this, hopefully. Let's see. We need a 7. So we do a 3 here and a 2 here, and make this the positive and the negative. 9 minus 2 is 7. Okay. Over 3 times x plus 3. And the x plus 3's are in common. And this simplifies to 3x minus 2 over 3x. We did it. The last one, last but not least, number 36 for chapter 5 review. Again, we're going to factor. That one's factored. This can have the 3, so we have x plus 3. And this is going to have an x and x plus 3. This looks very similar to 35. So first one, so let's just circle the pieces of our LCD. The 3, the x, and the x plus 3. So the first fraction is missing 3 times x plus 3. 3 times x plus 3. The second one is just missing an x. And the third one is missing just a 3. So we have 3 times x plus 3 plus times 1. So this is really 3x plus 9 plus x times x is x squared minus 3 times 3 is 9. And our 9's cancel. And so we have x squared plus 3x, or factoring that out to x times x plus 3. I'm going to put that over our denominator of 3x plus 3. And it looks like the x's cancel, the x plus 3's, and this reduces to a mere 1/3. Wow. We did it. Hopefully you have went through and are making your note sheet very thorough. I have also put in the review area examples of items that you would want to put on your note sheet. Don't use mine as your note sheet. Use them as an outline of things that you, topics you'd want to have on your note sheet. Okay. And go get them.